soon as we landed fresh off the plane, we went to the Acropolis. So that was kind of like a great introduction to Greece. We kind of saw one of the most popular places there.
So a company called Basketball Travelers reached out to us and Dave, because at the time we were #1 in the country and they wanted a good female U Sport team to come down to Greece and play.
And then they reached out to me in January, kind of mid-January, and said, yeah, we've got a group. We got teams going over to Greece. We need a Canadian team to go in there and to be the team that they play in Athens, and you'd be based out of Athens. And I said, perfect, awesome, it'd be great to go.
The purpose of the trip to Greece was a few things. Number one was to play some Division I teams from the States. So they go on sort of a European summer tour, they call it. So our purpose was to go be in Athens and play those teams as they came through. So for us, it was to get some really good competition against some really good schools, and also to give the girls a really good experience. We pride ourselves on a good student athlete experience in our program. So to give the girls a really good experience, have them see the world, travel overseas, which lots of them hadn't done. So that was why we went.
As an athlete, my biggest takeaway was just seeing how we compete against like some of the top schools you see all over Instagram, all over ESPN, all those like great teams where you're just like, wow. And just seeing how we compare and how we can compete against them, and how like, even though we're from Regina, such a little small place that you don't really think of all the time, we can compete and we can go up against those big teams.
Well, it was pretty interesting because, of course, Sydney Dobner, our former player who was an assistant coach, happened to be over in Greece, and she was actually working out Giannis's brother and Giannis a little bit too as part of her job. And so she actually came and sat and coached in a couple of our games. So the very first game we're playing Florida State, and I remember the organizer had said we were playing in Giannis's old gym where the movie had been shot. And I said to Sid when she came in, I said, yeah, I think this is Giannis's old gym. And you know, there's the posters of Giannis and his brothers when they were young. And literally Sid texted Giannis and said, yeah, I think I'm in your old gym, and says, blah, blah. And he responded in like about a minute and said, oh yeah, that's my old gym. And so it was just one of those cool connection moments where we're like, oh yeah, Sid's living in a different circle. But it was kind of cool that we're in, not only in his gym, but you know, we've got the assistant coach of the Bucks texting him saying we're playing in there.
To play in Giannis's gym felt very historic. I mean, the whole like building kind of had an older vibe to it, and like all the equipment seemed like slightly used. The floors were kind of dirty, but it was cool. Like, we didn't have AC in the locker room, but like you kind of saw like the pictures of him, the quotes and everywhere, and like you kind of got to see where like a champion and a great athlete was like built and how he came from this place. And like the dirt and the cracks, you're like, this is sweat, this is blood, this is amazing. Like, it just kind of felt like very, yeah, like a historic moment for us.
My biggest takeaway was just to challenge our athletes to really strive for their own potential and not for just the athletes that we're playing against. They really proved to us that they can play against some of the best schools in the NCAA. And so I think as a coach, to come back and make sure that we're always striving for that and not just playing to the level of the people around us or changing how we're playing because we came back from Greece and into Canada. That was kind of what I took away from that these athletes really do have the potential to do great things and compete at a really high level. So it's our job to push them to do that.
So they were a little taller, a little quicker, but skill-wise, we were right there. And that was what was a great opportunity. And that's why they had us come over there, is that they knew we'd be organized, we'd play hard. And so that just reinforced to me that this is how we played. And as I said to him, I go, now I've seen what I thought and I believed your level is. The expectation now has to be there all the time.